More the Merrier might be the quickest unit to go from revealed to hyped in War of the Visions history, but now that the dust has settled and she's been released, many War of the Visions players might be wondering, should I pull for more? Well, that's why I'm here. I'm gonna tell you. If you want to see more cool War of the Visions videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and show your support. You can also check out my streams, which typically happen on Wednesdays, but there's a few other days that I do it. It depends on the week. So if you hit the bell, it will tell you when I go live. Let's start with Moore's gameplay style. She is a 90 cost magic DPS unit with the wind element, and she deals magic damage but also magic scaling missile damage and slash damage. She can inflict many status effects including poison, sleep, paralysis, and silence. And then she has a pretty nice innate accuracy and some ways to buff it with passives and abilities. It's really nice for hitting those evasion teams that we're seeing a lot of right now. She also has access to re-raise in her kit multiple casts, so very solid for both manual play and also for guild battles. Moore's TMR is a cloth armor, so it's not ideal because you do want to have other armors equipped. However, it has a pretty sweet TP ability. It has decent spirit as well at 12. So this is an AoE shell application TP skill. It also gives you 30% crit evade while shell is active, which is a pretty nice little bonus there. The AoE shell is already really good. I would have taken it just for that. It's a very strong ability. It makes it worth running, and if you get her by accident, you might want to just grab that TMR, although I don't know if that I would necessarily pull her just for the TMR. Let's talk stats for Moore, and she's got some good ones. We have 3,730 HP, which is 34th in the game. It's higher than most mages. She also has 567 magic, which is good for 9th in the game. Her dex and luck are both at good levels, and that means that she is accurate. Her agility is on the low side though at 61, and she does have a passive to buff it, but still, you hate to see it. She has no innate defense or spirit. She does have some defense and spirit on a TP buff, but still no innate defense and spirit. Kind of cancels out the high HP in a way. And then she starts with 50% of her max AP like an Energist or a Red Mage. That's important. That's really going to be a limiting thing for her. Now you might be wondering, should you go to 115 or all the way to 120? Well, it's going to be 120. You get 67 magic at 120, which seems important given that you might not always use her magic passive. I think that's a lot of magic to get from 5 levels, so it's all on her ability board. It's important. The 230 HP is okay, but I mean, again, every little bit counts, especially if we don't have any of that innate defense or spirit. Her job level 25 skill, Meridian Channel, is a very important skill because it has an AP restore buff attached to it, so you really want her to use that every fight so that she can be enabled to continue casting abilities. You have to go to 120 with Moore. You might be wondering about Moore's survivability, and it's definitely decent because she has high HP. She doesn't have that innate defense or spirit, but she does have that high HP. She gets regen, which also applies a 20 defense, 20 spirit team buff. That's amazing for your team and for her. And then her TMR shell buff is also going to be a key part of taking on magic teams. She has good starting points for magic and missile resists, but she's gonna get whacked by everything else. Only 5% slash resist. She does have that 2-cast re-raise though, and basically you can have bad defense and spirit and HP, but if you have Mortal Courage, if you have, or Mortal Spirit, sorry, if you have re-raise, then you're good to go because it takes 2 hits to kill you unless someone can remove those statuses. So basically it means she has good survivability. I mean, that's really all it takes. The fact that she has high HP and then the regen, maybe that comes in play if she can survive 1 hit, maybe heal up over a couple turns, survive another hit, I don't know, or she heals up after a re-raise because she got caught in an AoE. Most of these scenarios where she's actually healing herself, it's going to be because you have a tank out, so she shouldn't be taking too many hits aside from those AoE hits. Moore's also got some nice team support options. The defense spirit buff was mentioned previously. It's really good. And it's basically the Joom TMR without the Joom TMR. Really nice. And then Time Mage, you can do some haste and quicken shenanigans, both on auto and on manual, but obviously much stronger on manual. Let's talk fun facts for Moore. She's got Charm and Slow Resist. They're both really good resists. She also has CT Null Change for slow, but that also stops stop. She's weak to strike like everyone. And then she has 15 accuracy on her master ability, 20 on a passive, and then 30 on her re-raise buff. So that's 176 innate accuracy, 196 if you have her passive equipped, 226 with her active buff. If you don't know what that means, it means it's good. She has good accuracy. She's going to hit everything. She also raises her own healing power when her re-raise is active, and she gets a 40% magic buff when her re-raise is active. It means that when her re-raise is active, she's going to do a lot of damage. Her regen's going to help out a lot. It's really solid. You just basically don't want her to die. You want that re-raise to stay active as long as possible. One of the most interesting parts of Mora's kit is her ability as a status effect inflictor. So she can inflict poison, sleep, paralysis, and silence. And she has a skill called Divine Toxicology that carries a 30 defense spirit break and a 50% healing power reduction when the target is poisoned. That's not even the only skill that poisons people, but the fact that if you get it off, and it's a nice range, I think, too, just not a good height range, that's a really debilitating attack. Like, that's going to make all of your other attacks deal a lot of damage. It affects a lot of different units. Really big deal. So we also have Soul Sedation, which has a 45% chance to inflict sleep if your regen or auto restore is active, and hopefully those two things are happening. So with a 45% base chance, it means it's near 100% if you have 97 faith and if your target has 97 faith, but either way, it's a higher chance to inflict it. It's really, really good. The range is quite low on this, and that is concerning. However, the mod is 200 times, so that actually will prioritize it when Mor is attacking, at least if she's close enough to attack with this. And now it's time for the Limit Burst. It's a 200 times mod, 67 base chance to silence your foes. Whoa! And it also carries a 30 AoE resist imperil when the target is silenced, which is going to be all the time. This makes it very useful against physical units as well, because silence, a lot of physical units are the silent type. They don't even care if they get silenced. It doesn't affect them. Well, now it does, because they get a 30 AoE resist imperil. That's a big deal. It means that all your other units are going to come in with their AoE attacks and just smoke these guys. However, the 58 AP cost is very, very high. She's going to suffer for AP if her Meridian Channel skill is not used. It's super important that you've practiced with her to make sure that you're getting the most out of her AP, getting her refreshes, doing the status effects, the buffs, all that kind of stuff. She's a thinking person's unit. You have to put some effort in. I've chosen to compare Mor to Valentine Celir and Black Rose Helena. Now, Valentine Celir is also a 50% AP and a fist user that has some missile attacks, so the comparison's pretty clear there. She also has Time Mage without Quicken, however. And then Helena's kind of our standard for our different magic attackers. However, we also could have looked at Golbez as well, just because of some of the survivability things and also the status effects. They're a good comparison as well. Although I think they work very well together. So if you have Golbez, that's actually a pro for why you might go for Mor as well. So Mor is going to be tankier than a lot of mages just because of her high HP, because of that defense spirit buff, but she isn't a bruiser. I still think she's going to take big damage. The fact that she could maybe survive a couple of hits and then maybe she can get her re-raise off, that is what's going to give her really high survivability. I think she'll die in 2 hits though. Or even 1 hit against certain types of attacks. So I don't think that she's this bruiser that is taking like 3 hits or more. So she also has very low AP compared to other units, even compared to 50% AP magic attackers. So a little bit concerning, but you get a lot of other stuff on the kit as a bonus because of that. There's a trade-off there. She has no penetration, again, compared to a lot of other magic attackers, but ideally your other attack types and your status effects make up for that, and I think that's actually true. I think that is a nice trade-off. You don't have the penetration, but you really do have so much other things going for you that other attackers don't actually have. You have a very high magic stat, you get the passive magic buff as well, but you also get a pretty nice active magic buff that's very easy to use, and I think it's going to be active a lot of the time, and that is a lot easier to apply than a lot of other magic attackers. So I really like that magic buff. Now, one thing we have to talk about is magic attackers often have good range, or at least have a few range height 2 attacks. She doesn't have that. She has literally only one skill, the Comet, that has range height 2. Everything else is range height 1. She has 3 move, 1 jump, and she has lower agility. So her mobility and her skill to be able to get in range of people and kill them is not as good as other mages, not as good as Helena, not as good as Salir, because Salir has that insane, just nutty LB that has the height range too, and the dispel and stuff. So that's definitely a demerit compared to other magic attackers. Let's talk pros and cons for more, and we'll start with the pros. She's got high accuracy, and that's just going to be great against all the evasion that we're seeing right now. She's also capable of pretty high magic damage, and I know that for a fact because my guildmate already has her at 120, has been using her. She also has those magic or multiple damage types to get around high magic resist. Just so you know, Silence, it's a big deal. It shuts down Elena, Jaden, and any other magic-based attackers. It shuts off their TP skills, most of their TP skills that is, and it also shuts off all of their attack skills. So it's huge. Silence is a really big deal. To have it on the 67% base chance, it's massive. People are going to have to start using Soul of Thamasa for the Silence resist because of this. Her other stats effects are also very useful as well. She's got a lot of utility for both auto and for manual, and I think especially for manual, she's going to be absolutely amazing. The fact that she can do that defense spirit buff is really good, and she's got some decent survivability as well. Now, she does actually have some cons as well. All of her skills, aside from Comet, are range height 1. Now, you might actually have a situation where you're gonna use Comet on certain maps because it has a decent potency. It's non-elemental, so it doesn't benefit from her wind attack up, but that might get around a high wind resistance, although I don't think we see people building wind resistance as much as we see dark or light resistance being built. She also has 3 move and 1 jump. That's very limiting combined with her lack of range height. Some maps are gonna be really bad for her, and other ones it won't matter quite as much, but that is a big deal for me at least. She doesn't have the best resists, and she doesn't have innate defense and spirit. So if she gets dispelled, she's done. She's not going to be a bruiser. I think she is going to die quickly, but again, the re-raise makes all of the difference. And she's also very dependent on using her Meridian channel for AP, or maybe we have to use something like Bells or even Lucio's TMR. I wanted to also talk about her VC because I think it's actually quite important for her. It's really good in general for the bestowed and also the dexterity on the card. It can build any wind unit's accuracy in a major way, so if you're really into wind, then this might be a good VC for you, but the AP consumption decrease is essential for more. If you basically want her VC. It's a must pull for more, not necessarily a must pull for wind accounts. The party ability is neat for a lot of different units, for Halloween Little Leela, for Varouche, for Gargus, and other wind units as well. It helps all magic-based attacks, so your slash attacks, your missile attacks, your magic attacks, all of those benefit from this. But at the end of the day, that AP consumption decrease is just so key. I think you have to get it if you've pulled more. All right, we're at the end of the video, and now you're wondering, should you pull for more? And I think yes, that a lot of players should or could pull for more. I think if you like manual, if you have a good wind account, or you want an evasion counter, then she's going to be a good unit for you. However, she's a big investment, and that means that some accounts that could need her shouldn't pull for her because you just can't afford to spend that kind of Visio right now. I think her TMR is going to be really useful. Again, you don't have to pull for it, but at the end of the day, you do need her VC. So if you're not prepared to pull for her and her VC, then I think that kind of takes away a bit of the need to pull for her. It's very difficult to pull for her with Final Fantasy VI on the horizon. We also have Persona. We also have Alstoria. You need to think about this carefully and what you want to get out of this. So really, again, I'm putting it on you to do your own research and think about your own account. You can always ask me in the comments down below what I think, but I need information about your account. It's probably better to just ask me on Discord, to be honest, and we can talk about that. But overall, just as like if we're looking at her generally, I think that she's going to be a really strong unit, and I don't think that she necessarily needs to be in a win team. I think she could work pretty well with Golbez. I think she could work in a lot of other teams just because she's not necessarily just there to do damage. She's also there for her status effects. You could just use her as someone to get off a key silence to enable the rest of your team, and that would be totally viable. So I'm really excited to use her. I've already pulled her, if you didn't know. I pulled her on stream, so I'm pretty all in. We'll see how that goes. I'm definitely going to be doing some videos on her ASAP as soon as I can get her built up, and I'll show off all sorts of videos with her, so look forward to that. So that's it. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments down below, or just let me know if you pulled for her, how that went for you. If you didn't see my video, I am going to post, or my stream, sorry, I'm going to post that video of my pulls so you can see how it went for me. And then otherwise, we'll see you soon with some more videos, some more arena and guild battle videos, and some other videos I have planned to do with if you should be saving, or for Final Fantasy VI, or what your plan should be in the future here, because I know a lot of people are thinking about that. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.